Welcome to Exploring the Metaverse, where we explore the depths of virtual and augmented reality and the ever-expanding metaverse and how it applies to regular people. Today's episode, Dr. JB, the Metaverse Doc from Florida, is an emergency room physician, and she's also the CEO and founder of Hope4Med, a first-of-its-kind mental health and wellness platform in the metaverse that helps healthcare professionals, caregivers, C-suite executives, and other professionals combat burnout and maintain a healthy balance of mental health and well-being so they can flourish. Let's get into the interview. So welcome, Dr. JB, to Exploring the Metaverse. It's absolutely my pleasure to have you here today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in medicine?
Yeah, definitely. So I am Dr. JB. I am a board certified emergency medicine doctor. I am in Florida, and so that's where I practice. And really, I am definitely very, very enthusiastic about the possibilities of that the metaverse allows people. And I'm very much a pro metaverse person, through and through. Hence why I go by the Metaverse Doc on social media.
I love that. That's really, really cool. How did you become interested in virtual and augmented reality? Like, especially in the context of mental health and wellness and how those worlds could come together?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So, really, I my first interest was initially on just social wellness, and social wellness for healthcare professionals. I thought that we did not have enough opportunities as physicians and nurses and other licensed healthcare professionals to really get together and get to know each other. Really, who are you as the person behind that white coat.
And now
Um,
behind a mask.
and now behind the mask, right? So, what are those eyes telling me, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
you're walking in a store or outside and you see them, you see us without our mask on, and you're like, who are you? Like there's something familiar, but I really can't, quite put my finger on it. Um, so because of that, I thought, we should have more opportunities for us to really be able to connect and get to know each other. Because before that, it was just like Christmas parties, like the once a year holiday parties that normally happens at those at different hospitals and clinics. And so I spoke with my chief of staff about creating opportunities like retreats, more regular retreats and things like that for us healthcare professionals at the particular hospital I was working at that point. And then COVID struck, right?
Oh,
So this
yeah.
was all before COVID. And so everything took a backseat burner. And COVID, it was and still is hard, right? And it's hard for everyone. It was especially hard for those healthcare professionals who, were surrounded by dying patients. I know I came into medicine to save people, right? That's what we always say on our applications. I want to save
Yeah.
people. And we were feeling so helpless because we were surrounded by patients that we were not able to save.
That's so,
And
so
there were
true.
just so many. There were so many patients that we didn't have any time to debrief, right? So that was number one. Number two was during COVID. I don't know if you heard about Lorna Breen, if
No,
that name
I'm
rings
up
a
in
bell.
Canada.
Ah, well, she was all over the news in the States. I don't know if it was the news in Canada, but she was the emergency medicine doctor who died by suicide.
Okay.
And and I knew her personally. And
Sorry.
so that made me start thinking about mental health amongst healthcare professionals. And I dug into it and I realized that that is a place of great need and necessity to address. Um, in the US, I don't know the numbers in Canada
I'm
and
sure
throughout
it's
the world,
very
but in the
similar.
US,
Yeah, I'm sure it's very
well,
similar.
those similar numbers, doctors, 300 to 400 doctors die by suicide every single year.
Oh my gosh. That's almost it's like a person a day.
Yes, it's almost a person a day. It's a med school size class, right?
Wow.
And these were all pre-COVID numbers. And we don't know what the numbers are going to be post-COVID, right? And so, here I was really interested in social wellness. And then I was like, huh, how can we talk about sensitive issues? How can we connect person to person, um, and have that outlet? And so I started off with podcasts initially, and after a year of doing that, I decided I wanted something more. And then I came across the metaverse, and I realized that the metaverse really, really fit very well with what I needed. Because even on my podcast, I gave my guests the opportunity to be anonymous if they so chose to be, and we
Absolutely.
could talk
Yes.
about sensitive topics, right? And so here I am, like, so where can we have a more engaging experience, not just one on one, but with a group of people, right? And they can be anonymous if they so choose. And that is where the whole metaverse came into fruition because it fits that purpose perfectly.
That's amazing. So what's Hope4Med? Talk to me about that. And can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, so Hope for Med really that's what it means. Creating this company, it provides wellness solutions for healthcare professionals in the metaverse. I've created a peer-to-peer supportive community for healthcare professionals in the metaverse to provide hope for medicine, for the future of medicine,
To
right?
heal the healers.
What we really heal the healers, because who is taking care of the healers, right? Who is taking care of those who pour into others? Where do they go to fill their cup? Where do they go to rejuvenate?
And
And
and so many people don't understand what they go through in that line of work. You
and
can't
it's
just
hard,
talk to your friends about it, right?
and if you're not in it, it's very difficult for you to really wrap your head around what they experience. It's really, really challenging. And truthfully, if you're not in it, sometimes you don't really want to even hear about it, right? And so you hear about all these healthcare professionals going to the dinner table and trying to talk about their day and their families, like, oh, give it a break already, right? But we do need to let it out because we are human beings, and there's only so much as a human being that we can carry, so much weight that we can carry before our knees start to buckle. And so because of that, that's what Hope for Men was created, to be that network, that community, that peer-to-peer supportive community where we could go ahead and release, where we can relax, and where we can rejuvenate and go out and face the world.
I love it. I love it. I really, really love it. Love your idea. Is there anything comparable out there? Like, are you basing this off of anything, or was this really just through those experiences you described and just inspired to create something new?
Yeah, this is new. There's nothing out there. I mean, I'm sure in the future there'll be other things similar, but I'm definitely a trailblazer in this.
Oh, I think that's incredible. So how does it work? Like, give me a typical session. I mean, I actually happen to be a nurse myself. I don't work in quite the acute environment that you do. I'm a rehabilitative nurse. So these words ring so true to me. And I really believe in this project, from a personal, professional, and a larger scale perspective. So what is it like, when that healthcare professional logs in to Hope4Med? What could they expect? What would that experience be like?
So Hope for Med, um, the activities take place in a virtual world. The virtual world that where activities currently take place is not one that I built, right? And that's something that I definitely want to stress to people, because oftentimes when people think about, well, when they think about the metaverse, they think about Meta and Facebook.
Oh, I
And I'm like,
know.
it's not
Oh,
Facebook,
mm,
there's more virtual world,
hmm.
right? There's so many more virtual worlds out there that are not Facebook. So that's number one. So number two, so the world that I'm currently using is called Virbella, VIR, B as in boy, ELA. And the reason why I went with this world is because I wanted the anonymity, because there's some virtual worlds out there where they literally plaster your face on the avatar. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want you to be
No.
anonymous. I want you to have this cartoon figure that will never look like you. And you can name your cartoon figure whatever you want to name your cartoon figure. So if you want to name your cartoon figure your actual name, do it. Right? That's where
Yeah.
the whole you can be anonymous or not if
But
you
when
so
we're
choose.
talking mental health, it has to be a comfortable environment, right? I mean,
Exactly.
you can't just have everybody together at the table who doesn't know each other and expect them to spill the beans. I mean, it's tough.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. So then you have that layer of anonymity, right? Where, okay, so your name is Napkin, my name is Shoe,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And I show up as an Caucasian male,
Sure.
right?
I could go with that. I
And
mean,
right? This is the metaverse. It really doesn't matter. So like those biases that you have when, in the real world, when you see people, those kind of have to melt away because you don't know who's really behind that avatar, right? But there is a person behind that avatar. So how it works, you download this app onto your computer, right? And we have different themed days, different themed sessions. I focus on holistic wellness and I focus on 9 dimensions of wellness. And so, because I think that you have to be holistically well to really be mentally well. Um, and so, we tackle things like financial wellness, physical wellness, of course, emotional wellness, social wellness. And when we think about social wellness, we think about like um, interpersonal relationships, right? And we have different sessions. And so we have different speakers that come in, like financial speakers, financial advisors. We have conversations with malpractice attorneys. And,
Wow.
we're in a big assembly, like a conference hall, and we're all sitting and we're having like these, intimate discussions with these different specialists. And we're able to talk to each other as well as with the featured speaker.
Wow, I love that. I can really visualize that, because sometimes when I'm trying to envision what such a thing might be, you just sort of think about like an open space and just sort of avatars walking around with no direction. But you're really creating a structured place that can provide a high degree of value to people and to change their lives and to allow those people to change the lives of their patients and anyone that they really come across in their day-to-day professions. Is there a way of measuring, the successes and failures of the platform so that you can change and grow and develop over time and to sort of assess that impact that it might have on the participants?
Well, we do surveys, after every session. We talk about how'd you feel before you came in? How are you feeling now? What went well, what didn't work well? Because of course this I created for us, right? This is for us and it's by us, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure that I'm very well attuned to what's working well and what's not, right? Because I've set up Hope4Med for it to really be flexible and for it to be able to continue to transition with the direction of the future. And so right now, as it stands, we are not using Oculus or any of those VR headsets, right? Because I want Hope4Med to be accessible
But they're
to a
expensive.
wide
Like,
array. Yes, right. They're
yeah.
extremely expensive right now. And really, for you to be a member of Hope4Med, you have to be a licensed healthcare professional and you have to have access to a laptop or a computer, a keyboard, and a mouse, right? And if
That's
you have access to those things, then
yeah.
you can join us, right? And engage in these activities. And currently, our activities are free. So there's no charge to it. I just really want to grow this community and tackle burnout and increase career longevity amongst us.
So this is really a benefit not just to the individuals, but really to the system at
Yeah.
large. And I feel like this is something that's so scalable that you could bring to health organizations literally around the world. And especially with your background as an emerge or ER physician, I really think that the focus is on the end result, right? On those people gaining a benefit from this experience. Has there been obstacles, challenges? I mean, what is the stepping stones you've had to take in a general sense to sort of get it to where it is today?
Well, the biggest obstacle is so many people are not avatars,
Yeah.
right? And so there's a big educational piece to it because, of course, people are like, why? First of all, I don't have time, right? That's what you always hear. I don't have time. Why would I take out my
Yeah.
time to, participate in something like this? Or I'm already a part of groups. I'm already a part of Facebook, or I have LinkedIn, or I have all these other social media channels, right? Why would I go ahead and join your community? And I'm like, my community is not like any of those other communities, right?
No, it's very
My
niche.
it's a niche and it's real time experiences. My community is equivalent to you going to some kind of conference, right? Where you normally, what do? If you're going to a conference like say in New York, right? You have to fly, right? So you have to get your tickets. You have to go ahead and take some days off of work. You have to have a place to stay. There's a big time commitment, right? That goes into it for you to be able to collectively get together with different healthcare professionals and peers and participate in a workshop or listen to a keynote speaker or something like
Right.
that, right?
It's like a
In
once
the
or twice a
metaverse,
year, but you know,
right? Now imagine being able to be able to do that from the comfort of your home, where you are sitting down with your sweats, right? Your sweatpants that have those holes in them. We all have those like really comfortable sweatpants that are
where
all
you
holy.
can let go and be yourself, right? And let those issues out and reflect and have a chance to share with people who could actually understand what you're going through.
And it's convenient. It's so convenient, right? And and then when it's all said and done, you turn off your computer and you're with your family and your loved ones, right? And you get to sleep in your own bed and it's accessible.
I see so
And
much promise for this kind of platform. And I look at it beyond just the healthcare professionals, but I
yeah,
see this as having an incredibly massive impact on mental health treatment and bringing, therapy to people in all manner of regards. And is there any thought that this could branch into something that is more wide reaching into multiple niches?
100%. The sky's the limit. Truthfully, the sky's the limit. I think my whole emphasis though is really on the collective, right? Because so many things that focus on wellness these days really are very individualistic, right? And you have your own personal plans and and personal one-on-one conversations, and it doesn't really allow you to see where you fit into the bigger scheme of things, right? And you still end up feeling very isolated. You still end up feeling very alone. You still end up wondering, am I the only person who's experiencing XYZ? And, through this platform, the way that I've created it, it's all collective, it's all group, right? So you feel like you're part of a community. You know that you're not the only person, and you get to hear from other people about what worked well for them, and you guys grow together. Because the other thing was that, like, right now we're talking about who is taking care of those, who are taking care of
Mhm.
others, right? And so if you go ahead and continue doing this path and you bring in some other group of people to take care of the healthcare professionals, then who's going to be taking care of them, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so
So it has to
that's
come
why
from
this is very
within.
much peer. Yep, peer to peer.
I love that.
Um,
So do you have like a maybe any testimonials or stories from participants on the platform? Because I'm sure people would love to hear more about this, from those people and their experiences. Or like just because of the ease of access, can they, is there like I'm kind of get to the point, like, is there a way for people to get kind of like a review? Because I know everybody wants to know how many stars and ratings and reviews on things. And I'm just trying to let the people have a chance to to get an idea before they get in there.
well, um, well, I don't think there's any stars or ratings or anything like that. I probably have to encourage people to
No.
go on Google and go ahead and give me some stars.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some testimonials. I actually did host a wellness in the metaverse summit I held in November. And this one was open to everyone. So when you talked about, like, is there a possibility for this to grow beyond healthcare? Yes, yes, because I held that summit that was, not just for healthcare professionals, and I have several recorded testimonials from that experience, both from participants and speakers. And really, what they kept saying was, a, yes, you get to be yourself, right? You have this avatar, and you dress your avatar however you want to dress your avatar, but um, you know, you don't have to worry about all these, like, um superficial things that we have to worry about, putting on makeup and all that stuff, getting my hair done,
Oh,
looking just right. Right, all those things, you don't have to worry about them at all. And then just the fact that, like, at that particular event, there are people from all over the world there, right?
I
So
love that.
you in Canada could have been sitting right next to my avatar in Florida, and we're both engaged in the same activity, right? And
Oh,
so I had people from Africa, from Europe, and throughout the US present, for that event. So yeah, so I have testimonials. If you want me to maybe send them to you or share them, I could definitely do that.
Oh, I'm fully convinced. Like I'm on board and then some. You know, of the multiple guests that I've had here on the podcast, this is the one product that I can see myself personally using and personally sharing with my colleagues. You know, we're not emergency nurses, we're rehabilitation nurses, but at the same time, when you're dealing with people day in and day out, it's something that's difficult to understand until you've walked a little mile in those shoes. What kind of
Yeah.
future do you think the platform has, and what kind of plans do you have, you know, moving into the future to continue to grow and to develop, and you know, iterate on the successes that you've already had?
Oh, the future is very promising, for this. I think we're definitely um early in adapting or adopting this whole dimension, right? And so, that's part of the growing pains that we're experiencing, right? Because we're like, what is metaverse, right? Like that's the question. Like, what is
That's
the
why I'm
metaverse?
here, because I see that with you. I see it very clearly. And Mr. Zuckerberg has taken us back a few years by confusing everyone, renaming Facebook. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I mean, but it's great to be able to participate in the whole education piece of it all. Um, and I have partnered with the Global Wellness Institute and am helping to really bring that information about, Web3 and, what the metaverse is. But honestly, like it's infinite, it's unlimited, the possibilities, right? Because we're able to get people together no matter where you are in this world. We have to, one of my limitations right now is the language limitation, right? Because,
Yes.
right now it's just English speakers, right? So if you are an English speaker or you understand English, then you can participate wherever it is in this world that you are. But in due time, we'll be able to
Oh yeah.
communicate in real time
Oh
with
yeah.
regardless whatever your language is.
Absolutely. I really think it's just a matter of time. You know, the different AI technologies emerging right now. I mean, the market is hot for disruption, for change and improvement. And I think you're the kind of person to really bring something really incredible to the people. And speaking of the people and you bringing your message, you have a podcast you mentioned at the beginning called Hope4Med, if I'm not mistaken. Can you tell us a little bit
Such a
about it?
creative name, right?
Yeah, I love it. I'm
Um,
no different.
so I'm just trying to get my lighting right because it's like starting to get dark. Okay, this is better.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so my Hope for Med podcast features stories of healthcare professionals. And so, taking a couple steps back, I'm an emergency room doctor. Hope for Med is not just for physicians, right? This was created through the lens of an ER doctor. And in the ER, we work as a team, right? And so I understand the importance that every single member of my team needs to be well, needs to be healthy so that we can function well together. Right. And so that's why it is inclusive of all the members of the team. I did have to kind of like narrow it down a little bit, niche it down, and and try to um, be able to um, uh, I guess create some kind of door to let people in and out, kind of. And
Well, you
so
focus on
that's
the
why I
value
narrowed
at that point, right?
yeah, right. And so that's why I narrowed down to like licensed healthcare professionals, so we could verify that so those are the couple of the hoops you have to jump through, like show, yeah, verify that you are licensed, and
It's
then you
nothing
can
like the
gain
yearly
access.
education those people have to do. We have to do.
We all have to do it, right? Like, continuing medical education stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so the podcast features, stories of nurses, of doctors, of respiratory therapists, of physical therapists, of pharmacists, right? Of medical students, of pharmacy students. It's like it's the team, right? The Hope for Med community have come on there and they've shared their stories. And it really is, it starts with your why, right? Like, why medicine? Because so many of us lose connection with our why. Why did
Yeah.
we go into this in the first place, right? And so I found that the featured guests on this podcast really find it very cathartic to really go back in time and reconnect with why did I do this in the first place?
Gives me
And then we kind of
goosebumps.
walk through their journey. And so it's really just about that. It's just story sharing and talking about, have you experienced burnouts? And if you did, what have you done to help you overcome it? Are you still practicing? Are you, did you transition out? And if you did, what are you doing now, and things like that?
I think it's incredible. I really love the work that you're doing in this field. I think that you are moving the profession forward and really making a major change. And I might have noticed that you also have a masterclass that you've developed. How do you manage your time? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the master class was really by extension to people who are interested in getting into the metaverse and bringing their business on the metaverse, how to go ahead and be able to do that. Because, you know, everyone, I know you and me are on the same exact page, right? This is the future,
Yeah,
right? So you could stand on the sidelines and pretend like it's not, and it's just gonna pass you by, and you're gonna be like, man, I should have jumped on that bandwagon.
just
Here
like
is
the
your
internet.
opportunity, right? Just like the internet,
Hmm.
right? Here is your opportunity to do that, right? Jump on the bandwagon. Take some time to figure it out, test it out, right? It's awkward. I say we're all immigrants to the metaverse,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
All of us
Yeah.
are.
That's a different universe. We're literally stepping out of our regular organic world into a digital landscape that has human connection.
That's right. That's right. And it's exciting. It's scary, right? Because it's unknown, but it's so exciting. Um, and there's a lot of good, right? As well as bad that can happen in the metaverse, right? But I am jumping into it, both feet in the deep end because I want to really carve out a place of wellness in the metaverse. I feel like with social media, we thought about wellness and mental health too late, right? And we're seeing the effects. But
Yeah,
with this new dimension, we can not let history repeat itself, right? And that's my goal. I'm starting with healthcare professionals, but honestly, I work with anyone and everyone who's interested in learning more about the metaverse. So that's what that master class was. Also, I have another master class because I'm a professional speaker, and so helping professional speakers learn how to engage and be an engaging avatar when you're doing
absolutely.
keynote speeches and stuff like that in the metaverse. That's another masterclass I'm running.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for your tireless efforts to continue to push this beautiful agenda of wellness and health forward. Where can people follow you? Where are you on social media? I'm particularly going to take heed to the links you share. I would love for you to let the listeners know.
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn. That is definitely the platform that I am most active on. So you can look me up. I'm the Metaverse Doc there, or you can look up my whole name, Naomi Jean-Baptiste, or Dr. JB. Either of those options should pull up my page. I Hope4Med. We do have a website, Hope4Med.com. There you can actually see a demo of what Hope4Med community is all about. And yeah, and if you're interested, I mean, I am the Metaverse Doc on all the social media handles, but LinkedIn is definitely where I'm most active.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you talking to me and sharing this incredible program with everyone.
Thank you. And thank you so much for the work you're doing. It's great to have people out there that's really pushing forward this, educational piece about what the metaverse is and the possibilities and the potential because it really, really is endless. Really
Thank you.
is.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and you're looking forward to more. Please don't hesitate to email me directly, ExploringTheMetaverseTogether@gmail.com. That's ExploringTheMetaverseTogether@gmail.com. Any comments, feedback, questions, or concerns, check out the Facebook page, aptly titled Exploring the Metaverse. And we also have a YouTube channel. I'm interested in hearing from you. If you have any ideas for the show or guests that you would love to appear, please contact me yourself directly, or if you're in representation of anyone else. It's my honor and privilege. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day.